Wasa yiyeti Johan.
Achtuwu yake.
Oh, okay.
Sakini.
Oh. Okay. At kaudikit. At joy yi uwaksha yi kako ha presentation ni. Time has come, so I'm going to show you guys our slides, our presentation. Yukayuk satini takat Johan. Dalkun yagi ya yagi. Kera kayani disi ya. Jinkat katlay kiawachiyadis. Good to see you guys. It's fourth day of the week or Thursday, April, and 11 days have passed this month. No announcements. You know as much as I do. And let's jump into our warm up. And if you guys have questions along the way, let me know. So, first one, you'll need a pen and paper of your own. So, if you need to grab one, go ahead. And for this exercise, I'd like you just to do your best to write the Lingit names of the pictures you see. Don't worry too much about spelling. What I like about this exercise is that it's just getting your brain going. So rather than worry about getting it just right, go ahead and just do your best from the very best that you can just remember without looking how to write these items. Anyone need more time? Okay. So the first one, wasa duwasag number one, Tlingit Kainach. How do you call this first one in Tlingit?
Hit.
Ah,
Hit.
yeah, away, hit away. And I'm gonna zoom in so that you can see the spelling, but it's H, high tone I, T. Next one, wasa duwasag yata.
Tigitki.
Really cool.
To get
Yeah, good. Nice. Good teamwork. Digitkiya. Digit.
Tigitki yam.
Ah, really good. Digitkiya. So first one, repeat after me. Hit.
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 And second one, repeat after me. Digitkiya.
Tigitki yam.
Ah. Wasa duwasa gwit atlingitikainach.
Shawa.
Yeah,
Shawa.
yeah, owe shawat owe. Anyone want to try spelling?
SHAWAAT.
Yeah, owe. And is it high tone A or low tone?
Shawat. High tone. SHAW high tone AAT.
Really close. It's long, low first A, and then short high second A. So everyone repeat after me. Shawat.
Shawa.
Good. And last one.
Shay.
Yeah, nice. Repeat after me. Shay.
Shay.
Good. Any questions on these four?
Is the shayi, is that a ye at the end or a ye? The last I, sometimes I get confused on that. I
Yeah.
sound
Yeah, I
or-
think
yeah.
Thanks for bringing that up. This I at the end is you can I've heard it both ways, and I've heard my mentors describe it as it's written I, which is usually eh. It's a sound that sounds like eh. But when it's at the end like this, it can sometimes be a shortened E. So it might still be that E sound, but still short. So whereas a double E is long, E, uh, this sound can sound like a shortened version of that. So she.
Change.
Yeah.
I had a couple questions.
Yeah.
First, how do I raise my hand? I
Oh yeah.
don't
You can
remember
eat.
that.
Okay. Since you have your camera on, you can either just put your hand up and I'll see you.
Oh,
Or yeah, because I have two screens so I can see everybody. Or if you prefer to use the zoom function, hover over the bottom of your screen where all the zoom options show up, where you can select mute or stop video. And if you bring your mouse over to the three dots on the far right,
okay,
there's reactions,
okay,
and um, it'll give you options. One of them says raise hand, and it shows an emoji of a hand doing this. And if I click it, my hand goes up.
okay. I don't have a raise my hand function option. When I go to the three dots and I press it,
Yeah.
it okay. I don't have a raise my hand option.
Oh.
You're on the phone version,
Yes.
huh?
Okay. So it doesn't give me an option when I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Wave
Yeah,
it.
do this.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just feel bad because now I'm in a different ocean and I think it might have a delay. So if I'm gonna apologize to you guys now if I interrupt you, I don't mean to. The connection is kind of weird. I had a couple more questions. The word no and the word for number one. Could you say both of those because they seem similar?
yeah,
So the
you
word
put it.
no was tlek, and
Yeah,
then the number one is tlek, more of
yeah,
a espresso sound. Is that
yeah. I like the espresso sound description. So one of them is no, and one of them is one. And so for no, if we're telling somebody no, it'll look like this. It's a high tone EI and then a pinched K. So I need
oh
to put my
yeah.
I need to put my hand down because it looks like
Put
I'm
your hand
raising my.
up.
It's like, relax, Anna. Everyone sees that you're talking. Hold on one sec.
Okay.
Reactions.
Tlek.
Okay.
No. Tlek. No.
So yeah, this pinched K sound, for the pinched K sound,
Yeah.
you're gonna go ahead and repeat this after me. It's gonna be nice and snappy and sharp, and you'll really hear it. So repeat after me. Take.
Shake.
Tlek.
Like,
Yeah. And it's not in the back of your throat, it's up here because it's not underlined. So I'm contracting right here.
Tlek.
Yeah, take.
Like,
Tlek.
Yeah. And then for one, if I'm counting, it's gonna sound a little bit softer. It's still pinched, but instead of snapping that part of my body together to make it like you close the air when you do that, now I'm just gonna squeeze it till there's friction there, but it's still coming through like when you make an espresso, the way the steam one like puts air through and makes foam. It sounds like. And so go ahead and repeat this after me. Play.
like,
Tlek.
Yeah. So for no, repeat after me. Play.
like,
like,
And then for one, play.
like,
Tlek.
Do you guys hear a difference?
yes,
Okay. Are you able to feel it in your body, the difference between a and a.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay, good.
Okay.
Good
And then
question.
I noticed that when you're when you're doing the glossing, that in Tlingit, you're using a question mark. Is that just to help us know that that's a question? Because my question is, my question, my question,
It's like an
sorry, I
inception.
wasn't trying to be funny, I'm sorry.
No.
My question about your question mark is, normally it's not in Tlingit, we don't use a question mark, but are you putting that in the exercise just to help us know that that's a question, even though we should know it's a question because of the saw?
Help me remember where you see it.
Okay, so I was going through the lesson this morning for 2 days ago, and there was some questions like where is it and that kind of thing. So when we were looking, it would ask in Tlingit and it would have a question mark after it. So theoretically we wouldn't see is it correct to say theoretically we would not see a question mark ever in Tlingit when we're reading? We would just need to know that when we see sa, then it's a question.
So for example, the way I do translation is I'll write in Tlingit Wasa yiyati atiyatike. And this is a question, but I in the Tlingit side, I don't put a question mark.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
my
think I
style.
saw one thing where there was a question mark and I thought, oh, maybe she just did that just to help us know that it's a question, or maybe not.
Okay,
Okay, no problem.
I'll get to that too, but it's my personal style not to use a question mark on the Tlingit side because I come from the lineage, or I don't come from the heritage lineage, but as a student, my mentors are some of my mentors are Kinka Denig, Paul Marks, and Shaksani Keek, Shirley Kendall.
Okay,
And they don't use punctuation in the Tlingit side because they want us to recognize the words and the sounds in the language that make it a question. So wasa is what keys me into there being a question. And the other reason that I don't put a question mark is that in English, like if you look over on the English side, I have a question mark here. And when I'm reading English, that tells me, seeing the question mark tells me to inflect my voice. How are you, children? You know, asking a question. In English, that's how we know that we're being asked a question because the person's voice goes up. And so to me, this question mark is telling me to go high tone. And since Tlingit is a tonal language, I don't want to be in the habit of saying wasa yati atiatki because this is high tone ya and low tone ke. So I don't want to make this a high tone. Does that make sense?
yes.
Uh, okay.
Let's
There's
say I'm
another.
reading a book. I'm sorry. Let's say I'm reading in a Tlingit book and it's in Tlingit. Is it true to say there's not going to be any question marks?
Not quite, but let me get to what your point is. So, the other thing that you brought up is that when I'm doing a gloss, sometimes you might see a question mark. So I want to show you that, and then I'll answer your third question.
Sorry.
You're okay. No, this is good. That's what this discussion portion is for in class, because I wanna get to those. So if I go in the video study portion of where we were transcribing the video. Let me find it. Okay, a couple things I want to mention about my style for transcription. This isn't a rule in Tlingit, it's my style as a learner. When I'm transcribing a video like we were doing with the Jimmy Clasuzi videos, there are certain phrases where I'm not sure what they're saying, and I always note a question mark attached to the word that I'm unsure of. So, first round of transcription for my style is to write down everything to the best of my ability just based off what I hear. I'm not looking things up, I'm not worrying too much about spelling. I'm just doing my best to write down what I think I hear them saying. So this one was vaguely familiar to me, like this Lingquat Litin when Jimmy said that to Susie, and I vaguely remember that as meaning like look carefully. But I'm not sure on it. I wanna look it up. So that's where I put a question mark in my transcription so that I know either to look it up or to ask one of my mentors.
Okay.
Um, yeah. Uh, And then the last one that you mentioned for a gloss, I don't see example right now in these slides, but sometimes in the gloss there's a word that marks a question for the sake of teaching and keeping it simple. I think one of the days I put a question mark to let you know, like, this is a question. So in the gloss of one of these, I might have put something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And then one other question, an S pinched, what does
Uh,
that sound like?
yeah, a pinch S is gonna be sharper and more pronounced. And the way Shirley describes it is like, she goes, if you really hear the S, then it's pinched. So if I say wasa, I'm just saying an S that's pretty similar to what you hear in English. If it were pinched, it would sound like wasa. Do you
Okay,
hear? Yeah. Yeah, do you hear a difference there?
I do.
Okay, the last thing I wanted to mention about punctuation is if you look in the beginning Tlingit workbook, uh, there are question marks on the Tlingit side, and this is a stylistic difference amongst teachers between me and the person who published this book. And one thing I want to highlight about a good reason to use punctuation is if people are using Tlingit to teach literacy to children, um, then I've heard them say that it can behoove them to use punctuation because they're teaching some of the functions of writing to children as they're learning to read and write in a multilingual setting.
You know, maybe that was it. Maybe it wasn't your glossing. Maybe it was the workbook that had a question mark, such as on this page right here, DASA, and it has a question mark. So
Yeah.
I apologize. I had just seen a question mark. So normally this sentence right here, or this question, in Tlingit, would we see that question mark in a reading book if it was a storybook?
It depends on who published
Oh,
it. So,
okay.
this is a conversation I really like because it brings up something like if I'm teaching adults and we both understand like we're all, me and you are both fluent in English and now we're learning Tlingit as another language. Um, we can have this conversation and it's fine for me to teach, oh, we're not going to use punctuation on the Tlingit side. But there are other teachers teaching other student bodies and age groups where it is important for them to use it. So I don't want to come across as being like, this is a rule, don't use punctuation.
No, I didn't take it that way.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
answering the questions. I don't have any paper, so I'm using hand towels and shopping bags to write notes.
Ooh. Oh, cool.
But
Okay.
I had some questions. Thank you for answering those. I appreciate that.
Of course. Kaya, you have a question or comment?
So in books, speaking of books, I've got Kuhanti here.
Oh, nice.
And I've noticed this in another book I'm reading, but it has like two arrows at the end of the sentence.
Okay, can you hold it closer? Because it's your background is
It's blurred. Hold on. Sorry.
yeah.
So it's like two arrow. No, light's too bright.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Okay, that's a good question. I'll show you. So, so Rene is another one of my mentors, and one thing I like about what he does for writing Tlingit, is he uses these marks. So yay. And I'm gonna write them and then I'll explain it to you. So we got okay, I'm gonna put these Okay, so these arrows you see are just quotation marks that you should use for typing Lingit. And the reason these are used is that Lingit uses an apostrophe mark to show pinched sounds. And it's awkward if you have like pinches and then quotation marks next to each other. It's a little easier for people to read these arrows in contrast to the apostrophe mark than it is if you have an apostrophe halfway through the word and then the English quotation marks. It's just a little more reader friendly, I think. So that's what these are. So the way I think about these, anytime I'm typing a quote in Tlingit, I would use these arrows in place of the English quotation marks. So here in this example sentence, Yeya Yosika Yikeuxatini, he said, "It's good to see you." Does that help? Ah, Yike. Good ones. Anybody else has questions? Oh, I didn't share my screen. I'm sorry about that. One sec. I stopped sharing so that I could pin you, and I was like explaining it without showing my screen. So this is the example sentence I wrote. So you can think of these arrows as quotation marks. Any more questions? Good work, you guys. I love seeing where you're all at. And like anytime you have a question about the language, it's kind of you're opening that door. So it's fun for me to see where you are on your journeys. Okay, so second half of our warm up. So first we reviewed these. And second half of our warm up is a translation exercise. Wasatu wasak lekairinach yikeich.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Ka tsuyeich kwasatin.
I will see you again.
Yeah, oh wait, I will see you again. And let's do a quick pronunciation practice to make sure that we're saying these. So repeat after me the first line. Yikeich satine.
Yike'eqsatine.
Yeah, this I underline X W. Let's do this one. Just repeat it after me. Ich.
Ich.
Yeah. So you're rounding your lips. That's what the W tells you to do, and then you're breathing out the ich sound. So one more time. Ich.
Ich.
Good. And then you go right into the second half. Repeat after me. Satine.
Satine.
Yep, and the whole word. Ich satine.
Ichsatine.
Good. So the whole phrase, the top line, yike'eqsatine.
Yeah.
Yike'eqsatine.
Second one is a totally different word and different meaning, and we want it to sound different from ichsatine. So if we're changing it from I saw you to I will see you, it goes from ichsatine to ichquasatine, which is a very different sounding word, and it just takes some practice. So let's start with the last sound of I will see you again. Repeat after me, teen.
Teen.
And then starting with the underline K, W, just repeat after me, quasatine.
Teen.
Yeah. So we have two consonants, two Ks right next to each other. One is going to be up here, the second one is going to be back here. And the way you handle that is to attach the first one to the I, and then the second one, you take a little breath and say the rest. So repeat this after me. Ikwasatin.
Equasatin.
Good. Yeah, you sound good. So the whole line. Suye ikwasatin.
Yeah.
Suya
Yeah,
equasatin.
Equasatin.
Yeah. When I was working in the language nest, our elder mentor was Florence Shakely, and she reminded me to make sure that I'm pronouncing both K's. Because so that tells me it's a distraction to them if it's you're not making both K's, like two separate K sounds. So that's something I'm always trying to work on. And so let's do it again. Tsuye ikwasatin.
Suya
Yeah,
equasatin.
Equasatin.
Good. Any questions on those? Okay. So these were our questions. Let's do our. Uh-huh.
Is it okay to talk about syllables in Tlingit?
Yeah.
It is? Okay. I was just thinking about equasatin and like how there's kind of treating it like there's two syllables for the two Ks.
Yeah. That reminds me, I would do when I was started learning Tlingit, I forgot about this. I used to do this. I was on, a notebook and pencil. That's how I was taking notes because we were in person. But I would chunk these using like a big slash mark,
Mm.
and it helped me with my pronunciation. So if you're taking notes, this is one thing that might help you is you could take one word and put a slash in between them so that you're saying each sound or each syllable on its own. It makes it a little more, it makes it a little easier. If you have, especially so like in this one, it's easy enough because you have a vowel here. Ik, qua, sa, teen. Sometimes you'll see the double K at the beginning, and I'll show you. So if you have like a word like if you're saying I'm gonna go outside. Um, uh, these two are right next to each other, and the way I teach this to make it easier is attach the first K to the E in the previous word. So this one, repeat this after me. Gandik kwagut.
On deck.
Bagut.
Good, yeah. I can hear both. Go ahead. I can hear both K's when you guys said those, so that's good. And I think when I was taking notes, I would do this. I would put it like this so that I knew, even though there's a space here, these are two different words, that I would pronounce this as one syllable. Good question. Ah. Whenever I'm breaking it up like that, I always keep one version with no slashes, just the way I would write it, and then put one below it or something. Okay. So let's do review, and then I put some question and answer drill slides together to practice some of the dialogue that we made. So for review, repeat after me. Zisk. And then, yeah, nice. And then the Klekwan variation. Tsisk.
This.
Yeah. I was thinking about this last night, and I remember Shakhsani Keek telling us there's no DZ in Tlingit, and then I realized that the Tlekwan variation is TS for moose, And her mom was from Taiwan, so I'm like, maybe that's where she learned that. I'll have to ask her. Okay, one more time. So we'll use the Taiwan variation. Repeat after me. Tsisk.
Disc.
This
Ta.
the we had one of those in our bathtub at one point because he had like a injury, so his mom let him go.
Oh,
Yeah.
whoa.
My grandma knew that word though. That was back when my grandma was alive.
Whoa. Ta. Nice.
Yeah.
Next one. Quat.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Quat.
Yeah. And then this word looks similar to moose, but it has a T in the middle, and it's also pinched on the first sound. So repeat this after me. Titsk.
Sits.
Yeah. Again. Titsk.
Sits.
Yeah. And another word for it is repeat this after me. Tati.
Setsi. That's like my mom's name.
Yeah. So moose, zisk.
Disc.
Or in Taiwan, zisk.
Sis.
And then compare that to little bird. Titsk.
Sis.
Good. Okay, now just go ahead and see
So I
them.
just
Go ahead and
ahead and started.
go ahead and say them when you see them. Ready, Gook.
The
Ah,
What?
quat. Setsi.
good. Ah,
The
Yoa.
What?
Ah,
Setsi.
Yoa.
It.
Oh, what?
Shawat.
Dikit. Yeah. Dekat.
Yeah.
Ah,
Gatia. I'm getting my mom a card with that on it for Mother's Day.
nice. Next one, Gook.
Hey.
Hey.
Repeat after
Hey.
me. Yeah, repeat after me. Sheyi.
Shade.
Shay.
Good.
It.
Shawat.
Lava.
Ah,
Shawat.
ah,
Forgot Gia.
ah.
Hey.
I'm so terrible at memorizing this.
Repeat after me. You're good. Repeat this. Sheyi.
Shay.
Yeah, good. Uh, don't be okay. Keep going.
It.
Ah,
Shawat.
ah.
Forgot Gia.
Yoa.
Shay.
Ah.
I need to
Oh.
give my students some more credit because they're going by so fast and like I'm learning a new language and it's way difficult.
Yeah. Don't be too hard on yourselves. These drills are meant to push you because I'm trying to get your gears turning around like, oh wait, what is that again? The
Yeah.
more you do, the easier it gets. But you're doing
Yeah.
good.
Igo ayah kuan.
Mm. Yoa iko ayahwan. Okay, a few more review.
Kado koat.
Uh-huh.
Katuuat.
Uh-huh. Repeat after me. Kadu'u'chu'at.
Kaduuat.
Ahun. Oh, no, that's plain.
Yeah,
It's backwards counting.
I know. I was like, it kind of does look like Dakun, but we'll do down is how many you're counting. Okay, so repeat after me. Play.
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 Okay, keep going. Next one.
A,
Play.
Ah.
nuts,
Repeat after me. Nutsk.
Nuts.
Good.
Nuts.
Ah. Duck.
Duck.
Good. Keep going.
Pigeon,
Ah.
Pigeon.
Good. Repeat after me. Clay dushu.
Play,
Play. Dushu.
Ah. And next one, go. Ah. Repeat after me. Dacha dushu.
Duck.
Dushu.
Good. Repeat after me. Netskadushu.
Dushu.
Dushu.
Good. Gushuk.
Goose.
Dushu.
And Jinkat.
Jinka.
Good job. Um, any questions on counting? Okay, so quick review of census space. This is the Yukai Tangia, the person speaking, and they're going to refer to things depending on how close they are to them. So repeat after me. Ya,
ya,
he,
eh,
we,
we,
We.
yu.
you,
You.
Yeah, good. So question and answer drills. First question we're going to work with is where is it? And we'll be using that diagram. So I'll ask you the question and you'll give the answer. Gusukwat.
usukwat, yadukwat.
Good.
Yadukwat.
Good.
Or which
So
one was
yeah.
good?
Yeah. So okay, repeat after me. This top one is the question. Gusukwat.
Usukwat,
Usukwat.
Yeah.
Dushu.
Good. And what am I asking in this one?
where's your eggs? Where's the eggs?
Yeah, good. Where's the egg or where are the eggs? And the answer, repeat after me. Ya dukwat.
Yadukwat.
Yeah. And what does this mean?
Here they
Eggs.
are. Here are the eggs.
Yeah, here's the egg. Here's the eggs. Okay, gusu is we talked about leaning on the language to tell us that it's a question. And so the type of question is gu, and then su is a contraction of sa u. So the like in wa sa iati, the wa is how, sa makes it a question, and then iati how you are. This one is what tells us it's a question is gu su. So where are the eggs? Here's the eggs. And next one, go ahead and repeat all these after me. We'll do pronunciation first. So repeat after me. Gusutati.
Usutsatsi.
And the answer, hey dutsati.
Usutsatsi.
Yeah. So we see that the tsatsi is in this area, like a little bit away from us. It's not quite right here. It's maybe just out of reach. And we're answering hey du using this he. Next one, repeat after me. Gusushei.
Usushei.
Yeah. And the answer, repeat after me. We dushei.
Usushei.
Yeah. So it's a little bit farther away from us. Where's the spruce? There's the spruce. And repeat after me. Gusuhit.
Usuhit.
And then it's way over there. It's way over yonder. So they say, repeat after me. You duhit.
Usuhit.
Ah. Derek, you have a question?
Yeah, so how would you say, for example, going back to the tree example, like they're like all around, like I'm in the middle of a forest right now for the lesson, And so how would you say like the trees are all around me?
Oh, cool. Let's
Like
do
they're far away, but they're also near.
Oh yeah, okay. What's coming to mind, I'll write what's coming to mind for me right now, and then we can continue to like explore this. So I would do table. Let me think about. I'm gonna use us. Where are the trees? Gusuas. Hada. Guk. I would actually say guk sayayati wa us. Guk yayati. Oops, sorry for my spelling error. Where are those trees? Where are those trees? I'm okay, so I'm thinking out loud based off what I know and what I've heard, and then I'll explain it to you. Hada.
Did you say my name? I went away from my phone for a sec.
No, I didn't say your name. We're just answering the question about how do we say the trees are all around us.
Oh, okay.
So a couple things I need to look up is do we pluralize tree, and then is this suffix correct? So what I'm showing you guys is my thought process for where I am in my language learning journey and how I would address this translation question. So translating from English to Tlingit is the hardest thing to do, but I'll show you my process for how I would go about it too, like if I want to express myself. And I can get you so far, and then I might lean on our mentors to help us make sure it's correct.
Sorry, what did you say you're talking about? I
Just
missed
like,
it. My family's being loud.
oh, that's okay. It's written here on the screen, and I'm gonna take everybody to the dictionary.
I'm trying to turn it off so you guys can't see my annoying family. Or hear my family, rather.
So I'm gonna look for around us and see what we find. Okay, one of the things I'm seeing, basically as a second language learner, what I do is start doing what I call like my research phase if I want to translate something into Tlingit. Ideally, the best way to translate is pull from your memory something that you've heard an elder say, or that you've heard in a speech, or you've seen written in a speech. For me, that phrase was ha da, and I remember hearing that maybe in Robert Zuboff telling, which story is that? Sha da. Anyway, this phrase is coming to mind, but I need to explore it because I don't remember the full phrase. So, in our research phase, one of the things we might come across is all the appearances in the dictionary of this term around us that I found or that I thought of. The thing that happens around us, we have an entry for natural forces, which is not quite what we're looking for, but we do see this around us, hada. I'm going to keep looking at what else pops up. Cat around us, ha dadushi for mountain lion. That's not quite what I'm looking at. Ha dakuji. We looked at this one. Wolf around us. All around. Getting closer. And then trees. I wanted to look up if I pluralize trees. Let's see what we find. No. Lichen. I'm gonna shortcut to the entry for tree, which is gonna be in double A. Let's see what we get. So one of these is a literary reference to Asquani, people of the trees. Okay, keep looking. Mouth of the ridge.
Looking at the verb dictionary, I see this word dasehat, which is enclose or surround completely.
Oh, cool.
So I don't really know if that's the same thing or not, but it does have that da.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, maybe you could say the trees enclose us.
Tree surrounds me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on what you. Was it Corey that asked that question?
Derek.
Or-
Yeah, I think this is as far as I can get you guys for now.
And no worries, that's still very useful and like now showing us how to look stuff up on our own and look for
Oh,
similarities and stuff. So
oh, good. Awesome. Yeah, this is how I handle it. Um, I can get so far, I can get as far as guessing based off what I've heard before, and then marking where I have a question, and then doing my best to look it up. But for me, if I was gonna, use this phrase, these would be big question marks I'd want to answer with a mentor before I go say it in a speech or in a story or something like that. Good question. Okay. So let's see. Next one. Okay, next questions I wanted to pull you through were what is it? And this is me. Okay, so this is you. You're the yuqaitangia, the person speaking, and this is me. And the reason I put this here is so that you can see it for the sake of our drills, I'm right next to you. So when I'm asking what is this, it's also the thing that I'm asking about is also right next to you. Um, so I'll ask the question and then I'll say dasaya and then you'll answer. So dasaya.
yeah.
Yeah. So what did I ask you in English?
What is that?
What is this?
This.
Yeah. Yeah. Because looking at our diagram, ya dasaya uses this spatial recognition. Ya. What is this? It's right next to us. What is that would be one of these three. Dasahe. So repeat after me. Dasahe
dasehat.
Dasahe,
and dasawe
dasawe,
and dasayu.
dasayu.
For
Yeah.
me, it's definitely Dasa you because, or actually, I'm not sure, but we got a bird stuck in our house last night / this morning. So, like, for the bird that got stuck in the house, which one would it be? Like, since it's in our house?
For in your house, if it's like across the room from you, I would say dasawa.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it was like, we're in the room. It was like in our, like, near our front door, and like we're in like a room.
Yeah, nice.
So which one would it be?
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Okay, next one, repeat after me. Dasahe.
Dasehat.
Dasahe,
And then the answer, repeat after me. Shehi ahe.
baby.
Yeah. So asking, what is that? That's spruce. And repeat after me. Dasawa.
Dasawe,
Shawat awe.
Shawat.
Shawat away.
Good.
Wait, so that's a woman?
Yeah.
What about a man? Why are we only doing the woman?
These are just the 4 vocab. We can add man, but I like to do 4 vocab items at a time.
Oh, that's cool. I want to start doing that with my students. You're giving me really good ideas here.
Good, nice. Okay,
And I got to do the numbers too.
repeat after me. Da sa yu,
So you,
hit ayu.
it, you.
Good. Um, so saying we're still right next to each other and we see this animal across the driveway. Repeat after me. Da sa wa.
So we,
And we're gonna answer, repeat after me. Zisk awa.
zisk, owa,
Yeah. So what is that? Oh, it's a moose. If this animal is really far away, we're out on the water and we see it and we're trying to figure out what it is. I would say
Oh,
repeat after me. Da sa yu,
so you,
so you,
sa ayu.
you.
you.
Yeah. So for both of us, the animal is way out yonder. So we both use da sa yu and sa ayu. That
And which
yu.
one would it be like if it's in the bathtub?
Well, it depends on how close you are. If it's right next to you, you would say, repeat after me, da saya,
Da saya,
and then sa aya.
sa aya.
Yeah,
I
if
have a
it's
quick
right close.
question.
Yeah.
If the asker and answerer are two different distances from the object, does the answerer answer with how far away the answerer is or how far away the asker is?
Okay, thanks. That's such a funny sounding question, but I know what you mean, and I love your question. So let's go. If the two people are not right next to each other, so like in these examples, this is you and then this is me and from I'm like in this zone far away from you. So I might be asking you, Das, so what like what is that? And about something that you're holding because we're across the table or the room from each other. And so in these examples, we'll look at those. Okay, so here's me asking das so what? And so you have a hummingbird in your hand. So you would say, repeat after me, digitkiya aya.
Get
Tigitkiya aya.
yeah,
Yeah, so now this time I'll ask you, what is that? And you tell me this is a hummingbird. Da so what?
Da sawa,
so
Yeah, and then answer. Go ahead.
yeah,
tigitkiya aya.
Yeah. So you see how it changes? I asked you dasawe. Like what is that? Because we're apart from each other. And so for me I say sawe. What is that? And you're saying this is aya because you it's next to you and you and I are not next to each other. Does that
Okay,
answer
but
your question?
yeah, and the question would stay, the da would stay the same whether the person you're asking is near or far.
Yeah, da, good question. So da lets us know that we're being asked a what question. So in all the different types of question, who, where, what, how, when, why.
That makes sense. The location only applies to the item, not the question.
Yeah, yeah. The location applies to the item. Similar to in English, if I'm like, what is this? And I'm holding it. But if it's across the room from me, I would be going, what is that? So this versus that, you can think of it as being similar to what sawa and saya. Good questions. Any more questions? Okay, we got a couple minutes left. Let's do a couple more. So again, I'm across the room from you. For me, I might be asking dasawa, and for you, the answer might be yeah. So again, repeat after me, dasawa.
Da
Da
so
sawa,
So this is me asking you, what is that? And now you're answering about something you're holding. Repeat after me. It's aya.
sits aya.
Yeah. Or if you want to use the other word, repeat after me. It's aya.
Satsi, yeah.
Satsi aya.
Yeah. see what else we got. So now I'm in the heh zone. Maybe I'm like across the table from you. Not quite across the room, but we're not right next to each other. And so I'm gonna ask, go ahead and repeat this after me. Das heh.
Sahe.
And the answer, repeat after me. Quataya.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit away from you, but I'm asking you about something you're holding, and you're saying this is eggs. Um, so how does this exercise for you guys? Is this making it clear?
Yeah, very helpful.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
Sorry, my grandpa was distracting me with inappropriate humor.
That's okay. Any comments or questions on the activity? Okay.
It's a great activity. It takes time to learn the different concepts.
Okay, good. That's good feedback.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a way to um maybe practice asking each other or something like that. And I get what you're doing. I just feel like the um what am I trying to say? I feel kind of distant from it. Like it's hard to imagine it conversational. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too.
Would you want to
Yeah.
set up outside practice sessions?
Yeah, if I was just to like maybe like pair up with Derek or something and then just like hold this up and like so yeah, or something like
I've been
that.
going on walks and looking up stuff in the dictionary. Actually, I missed last class and I got Gia. Was one of the things I looked up. So I was like, free homework.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. That's good feedback. So maybe one thing I could do is make breakout rooms and try to set you all up with materials. But me too. I'm trying to think of a way. When I teach in person, we're all in the same room, and explaining how far we are away from each other and the things is very easy because all I have to do is gesture. This is my adaptation to trying to make it online. It adds a challenge as far as like explaining what is this, what is that? This is a bird, this is a hummingbird.
Can you
Uh,
put up the one for the bird that's like Satsi? Can you put up the spelling again?
yeah. Let me find that.
Because I
think
want
it's
to put
still
it
a
in my
helpful.
mom's card.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I
try
think
and
it's
write
still
her a
okay.
Mother's Day card in Lingit.
Oh, nice. Derek, did you have a question?
I was just gonna say, I think it's still a helpful layout, just because you can kind of contextualize the distance on your own within, like you say, a room or outside of, the far would be different than the far in a room. So
Good. Okay.
Yeah, one thing I noticed that you don't do is use Quizlet, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and quiz us, and I really like that.
Oh, okay.
Um, but still, like there is a certain amount of pressure that comes from speaking with someone. I've kind of been noticing this with Betty Ann, and that like sometimes I feel like put on the spot, and um, I think that's like kind of a good kind of pressure too. So yeah, I just appreciate opportunities to do that.
Nice. Yeah, it's kind of exhilarating.
Oh,
One of the things I
I forgot.
noticed is like when I'm in an immersion space and I'm being asked to speak, now I'm at a point where I try to prepare ahead for that. And for me, the feeling in my body is similar to like if I'm driving on the freeway, I'm gonna need to make decisions. Some of those decisions I can plan for, and some I need to do on the spot quickly and safely. And so I try to describe it to people as that with your heart is kind of going at a quicker pace and you're thinking quickly. There's those same kind of synapses firing where you're ready to do things creatively, picking what words you're going to say. Um, Being in the pressure, like you mentioned, on the spot of speaking helps me, like when I'm in those situations, it helps me internalize the words that I need because somehow that like heightened awareness or adrenaline or something helps me cement it in my mind. which is why I do like to do drills because even if it feels kind of scary or intimidating, something about it, for me at least, helps cement it in my mind. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel like you're right. And like another thing that's coming up for me is just like thinking about like my ancestors having to learn English under duress and like kind of not wanting to perpetuate that kind of, what do you call it, linguistic trauma or something. You know what I mean? How can we
Yeah.
still provide pressure and like that motivation without inciting real fear?
Yeah, that's a good point. Um, so like my personal stance on the pressure, especially when it comes to our historical trauma and generational trauma, is I will never put elders on the spot. The way I approach trying to ask elders for help is ask them a question and then whatever they want to share is what I get to learn that day. So I'm letting them direct the conversation. I'll just say, "Hey, this is what I'm trying to learn." And then whatever they want to share is what I get to learn and I'm like grateful for it. I tend to lean on towards like my generation and younger. I tend to lean toward uh, being a little bit harder on ourselves to try to bridge that gap just because we have to make up for lost time in our intergenerational language transmission. And the elders went through a lot to become bilingual. Like, I'm trying to come from the other end to become bilingual. But yeah, just trying to keep that in mind. If I make you guys feel uncomfortable from the drills, let me know because I'm also not trying to make you feel sad or hurt or anything like that.
I have a question. Sounded like
Yeah.
Dan might be interested possibly. How would you feel if we set up like side practice sessions on our own on like maybe Sundays so we don't have quite as long a gap from Thursday to Tuesday? And we get to like talk about these things with each other and maybe look them up. And then if we have questions, we'll have some on like Tuesday.
That's awesome. I would love if you guys do that. I can't make it, but I would love for you to do the work. Let me do,
Yeah,
and since you're gonna do that, I'm gonna share with you the slides and put it in the chat.
I'll drop my email and anybody who's interested can just email me. I'll be happy organizing that.
Gosh, sheesh.
You should do it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you like have a way of like knowing where we're at or something, or you just like see the Zoom screen?
I just see your guys' Zoom screens.
Oh, okay. Oh, and the other question is, I forgot to ask you about the name again.
Oh yeah, and again, class is over now. If you can ask during the in the beginning when I'm like, any questions,
Yeah,
anytime, yeah, any of those times
I
is
need to
good.
just save the picture of
Okay, I see some questions in the chat that I missed. I'm sorry, you guys. I
class.
got all busy teaching and I didn't
End
see
up being
those.
for class. So that's been my dilemma.
Okay, Tlingit place names map. All right. Sorry I missed your questions today. I'll put a note for next time and try to make space for those. Until then, have a good rest of your day, you guys. Goodness,
More stuff on
cheese.
Google as far as
Today
like
is
we'll have to
sitting
scroll through the
Uh,
dictionary.